Hi, welcome to Pod Potatoes. This is Mark Selzer, and this is
Heidi Luo. I'm a comedian.
And so this is a podcast about everything, I guess. And what I'm going to also do today is I'm going to try to go to Facebook and live stream it while I am doing it. We'll see, go live. See what happens. It's had a description. Pod potatoes. Oh, I'm spelling potatoes wrong. Pod potatoes. Podcast. Done.
Okay.
And now start live video. We'll see if my phone gets overwhelmed.
On the both thing.
It's doing recording and it's doing the
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. But right now we're just recording the
Interview.
We're recording the bottom of the. Well, let's switch this around. Let's go this way. And let me switch this like this and see if we can see us at all. Cannot see us at all. Maybe if I go like that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think if there's a way to get us buzzed in. Rotate your mind. I'm trying to see if there's a way to get us buzzed in there, but there's not. Oh well.
Too much, I think.
Would you show the top of your head?
Okay. I'm on a wheel.
And then here we have, if I do that, it's going to, Robin Martins is watching. Hi, Robin Martins.
Oh, hi.
So anyway, what, you're from China?
Yeah, I'm from China. Hey, before start this, I want to turn the table. I want to ask you some questions.
All right, ask me questions.
Why the podcast called Pot Potatoes?
Well, because a couch potato is someone who watches TV all day.
Ah.
So a pod potato is a play on words from an American saying of a couch potato. So that would be someone who listens to pods all day.
Ah, interesting.
Potatoes are also called spuds, which sounds like pods. Then there was also a movie in the 1950s where these aliens from outer space brought down pods, and everyone on Earth had a pod, and the pod would grow into you, and then you would dissolve into the pod and become the possessed alien self. It was called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So this is in America, when you say pod, a lot of people think of this movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So there's many layers of different puns and meanings in this
name,
which I have, and I do that because I come from an art background where everything is layered and has layers of meaning and different dialogues of meaning. So
very interesting to know. So how long you have been doing this podcast?
On and off for years, but it's been not, I haven't done as many as I want. I'm trying to continue to do more. And a lot of people do it in the studio. I like to do it somewhere like this where it's live, where I can where there's some activity around me, and so there's some background noise. That's how I like it. I may switch to doing a normal podcast. We will see.
Yeah.
When I used to do a educational TV show for the Libertarian Party that was shown on government and educational channels. Once I did it, a live broadcast. Well, I recorded live. I didn't actually broadcast live, but I recorded live at at a Libertarian Party convention in this hotel, and there was lots of people around me, and they were walking around and talking, and there was energy in the air.
Yeah.
So I thought, this sounds better. It gives it a little more oomph. So I was just sitting. It was just a policy walk show where we all sat around in ties and nice hairdos, and you can look it up online if you want to see me in a tie and a clean cut hairdo and talking about policy. And I interviewed philosophers and candidates of the Libertarian Party and luminaries of the Libertarian Party, and it was a fun show. But I have no idea how I got the energy to do it. I still have the 3-camera setup to do it though, so maybe I'll start, if I can find a tech that wants to set it up, maybe I'll start setting it up at my show. Where you should come out to my show.
Sure.
And which is at Bordner's, and I can do 3-camera shoots of everyone.
That would be nice. So maybe we should tell the listeners where we are today.
The mall. We're in the mall. This is the energy of commerce.
And it's next to the ice cream shop. So we should...
By Cold Stone, no relation to the wrestler, Cold Stone Creamery. So maybe this was started by, I doubt it, but it sounds like it was started by that wrestler Steve Austin, who's also, his nickname is Cold Stone. He sounds like a very macho, a very macho ice cream shop.
Okay.
Cold Stone.
No, it's a favorite
Cold
place.
Stone ice cream.
It's summer. It's a hot day. That's great.
It's a hot day.
I think
maybe
it's
we'll get some extra coolness.
Exactly.
The,
I think it's great. All right, I've done my question. It's your turn. You can. Now you're free to ask.
So how long have you been in America?
20 years or more.
What made you decide to come to America?
Because everybody that time, China was very underdeveloped at that time, more than 20 years ago. So American is their dream, really their dream.
To come to America?
So everybody wants to come to America. So
that's the problem we're having with the country that's next door to us right now. Everyone wants to come here.
China is developed.
Well, some people see it as a problem. Other people would see it as an advantage. Then other people would be neutral.
Everybody have their own opinion. Exactly. So, but 20 years ago, China is totally different. Today is China. China still people want to come to U.S., but not as many as 20 years ago.
How did you get out of China? Did you have to fight somebody? Was there like was there an octagon and you had to defeat the
I wish I was. I was not. I was lucky. I was working with the PhD at UCLA. We're writing thesis together. So we went to the NBC. Just I don't know. The first one he said no. You gotta go back to your own city to apply visa. Then the second time, the guy looked at the book. It's about the children's book. It's like, oh, that was interesting. So I was lucky. I don't know why.
You got lucky? Oh, okay.
I was lucky. So now after that, everybody think my sponsor, my friend, which is my friend, she knows somebody in NBC. That's what they think. They think because she get me out of the country, she must know somebody. So she got a tons of requests in China. So can you take my kids out of China? We was just lucky. We have no relationship with all that.
You're already a student, so they let you go, maybe. I don't know.
No, I was not even a student.
You weren't?
I was not. So
we have no idea why.
Exactly. We don't know why.
But if everyone that from China wanted to come here, we'd have another 30 million people in the U.S.? 40 million? 50 million? A billion?
I guess.
How many billions of people are in China?
I don't know, maybe billions?
Billions? I think the entire population of the Earth is 5 billion.
So China maybe 3.
China maybe 3, maybe. Maybe.
They increase every day, so.
I need to have a few billion listeners to my podcast in China. That's what I need.
That would be a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Then you gotta teach them English first.
they can send me some PayPal money.
We don't use PayPal. They use another kind, but it's not called a PayPal.
Can it convert to PayPal?
Maybe.
Use Bitcoin? If you wish to support the show, send me some Bitcoin.
All right. So now about
Or some PayPal.
Bitcoin, I have a question about the Bitcoin. Why the Bitcoin convention do not take a Bitcoin when they pay register fee?
Some of them do. Some of them do only. Some of them do only. You know, I had. Excuse me, I started taking my medication before I came here, so I won't talk.
I have
maybe
some coffee.
I have some medication. Here, I have some right here. But I need to get some water. This is the part we would edit out if I had my, if I would edit. Some people go and they edit their podcasts. They take out all the coughs. They take out all the uhs.
Yeah.
They take out all that stuff, but I don't because I want my podcast to be a reality.
Like a reality. So show your audience what you're taking. Make sure you're not taking illegal drugs.
I don't know if they're, where's the camera? I don't know. There they are.
Okay, all right. So that's cough medicine.
I have to take this because I have postnasal drip. It makes me, and it gives me a cough. It's continuous. Hold on.
Okay.
So you continue. You can tell what is it like in China that's different from the U.S.?
Oh, he's going to get a water. So I'm going to suppose here to tell you what it like China. You know what? I don't tell you. Just go to YouTube, Google China. You know what it is in China. Do not watch 1930, 1950s video. You think China is like that. All right? So don't tell him what I'm telling you.
They want me to pay $3
for the cup of water.
For a cup of water.
That's crazy. Let me see.
$3 for a cup of water.
That's a Canadian dollar. It's like $300. Do you mind using my water?
No, I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to make this a mall thing.
Okay, all right. Go.
Let's put this. Here, hold on to that.
Yeah, hold on.
And I'll take this. This will probably start working by the end of the podcast. Just so people can see the people walking by and it would be funny.
Okay. All right.
So, are you married?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have no children.
No children? How come you don't have any children?
Because the children are costly and the children is evil when they're teenage. No, I'm kidding.
Children are evil. Sometimes they are.
They are, yeah. I remember one of my boss when he had 3 teenagers. Oh my God, the life is really.
Right. Well, I used to know this girl, and she was always wearing these super, super tight outfits to show off her body. Oh. And she was kind of a girlfriend for a little while.
Yeah.
But she had a kid, and she said during show and tell today, my daughter pulled down her pants in front of the whole class.
Oh my God.
And I got a call from the teacher. I said, I said, well, how would she learn that?
Yeah.
Because her mom was a bit of an exhibitionist. So she passed it on.
Oh my God.
To her daughter.
Oh my God. I can tell you why I don't have a kid. So when we get married, people tell us, say, in order to have a kid, first you need to have a plant, see if it survives. If the plant survives, then you go get a dog.
A dog.
If a dog survives, then you go get a kid.
A kid.
Oh my God. There's no plant will survive in my house.
Oh, that's not good.
So I have another friend. They don't have kids too. They had a fish tank, you know.
Fish tank? The fish died.
Not just the regular dye. How did they do it? So the fish is from the warm weather. So they put a heat on.
Right.
Somehow the heat dysfunction.
They boiled the fish.
Oh my God. I said, did you see why you cannot have kids?
Then you can cook them. You can cook the fish, and they can eat them, and then the fish becomes not their pet, but becomes lunch.
Every time I would go to their house, say, can we do sushi?
Right.
I think they're not. That's why they.
Well, sushi is uncooked fish, so that's still good.
No, now they do.
It just won't work no matter what we do. I'm going to have to bring a device from now on.
I actually have a standard. If you know, I should have bring earlier. You know the $3-5 those standard.
It's not a good. Well, we're just experimenting today.
Yeah, we can just do like that.
Experimenting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just experimenting with this. I'll probably erase it, and this will just go up on my thing. So what made you decide to do comedy?
I don't really know. I do not really know why. I saw a comedy writing class. I look at the catalog for so many times, but your heart just keep telling you, gotta take that class, for no reason. I do not know. But yeah, I did. I went to class, and 6 weeks later, I was on the world famous comedy store performing and making people laugh.
Right.
So that's how I started. You really don't know. Sometimes just can't explain it. Things happen.
Explain.
Yeah. Can't.
So where have you performed?
And of course, I perform in the comedy store Flappers. I perform at the San Diego Comedy Palace. Tall Comedy, and everywhere. I think all over
all the
town.
normal places.
All the normal places people going, and not normal places like here.
Right, like outside the Cold Stone, Steve Austin's Cold Stone Creamery. Yeah, that's our sponsor today. Maybe I could get them to give us some free ice cream. We're doing a podcast outside the store, and we have some free ice cream. I'm not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has real sponsors. I have to try to get a sponsor. I have no idea if anyone's even listening to my podcast, but I'm going to keep doing it. But when you look at Joe Rogan's podcast, he has podcast number 1,832. So, he's been doing it for a long time.
You got to keep doing it for a very long time, and then one of the guests, they may get famous like me.
Right.
Then people will start going back to watch.
I need to start asking famous comedians if they'll be on it.
Yeah.
Which I can do, which they'll probably want to do.
Yeah.
Because they like to go out and do stuff and be on stuff.
Yeah.
They're not busy. It's it's like my show. I'm able to get fairly famous comedians as long as they're not doing any paid work that night.
Yeah.
And they'll come out to my show.
We like a practice.
Where I cannot pay them.
Yeah. So people like practice joke.
Yeah.
So they want to go to a place they know people. Like if they know you.
It's not a real joke. Yeah. It's a practice joke.
That's right.
I'm just practicing.
Exactly. So we do not know that joke works or not. We want to try if you guys laugh or not.
For the first 10 years, you're just practicing comedy. Then after that, you can be a real comedian.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You made it.
Maybe.
Maybe you made it.
Maybe not.
Okay, so let's tell you something. You see if it's a joke or it's not a joke.
Okay.
How's that? All right. So lately, there is called the LA Pride Comedy Festival. I do not know what a pride means.
Means you're gay.
No, don't say it. So I do not see you ruined my joke.
I ruined your joke. All right.
But that's good. We're practicing. That's why I'm practicing. So now, I'm
practicing ruining jokes.
Yeah,
you're practicing telling jokes.
That's right. I'm practicing what happened if the audience telling that thing. Right. So now I practice. But I do not know. You know it means gay. I do not know what it means gay. So I do research. When I mean research, I ask my friend, and she's blonde.
She's what?
Brown. Blonde. Blonde girl.
Blonde girl. Okay.
No brain. So I asked her what pride mean. She says pride means they proud of themselves. So I said, I'm proud of myself.
So you went.
So I not only went, I submit. I was in a competition, and I went all the way to finals. How great I is.
And then they asked you to prove that you were gay by having oral sex on another woman And you say, oh, I don't want to do that. And they say, oh, you're not really gay. You're fake gay. We have to throw you out.
Okay, that's your joke. But I went all the way, and luckily they don't check a birth certificate. They don't ask for sexual orientation. Much easier than you run for president of the United States.
Right.
So that was cool. I was so happy. No, they are so nice people.
Right.
The audience are
you were
awesome.
the Rachel Dolenthal of gayness, of lesbianness. You're the lesbian Rachel Dolenthal.
So isn't that a felony?
You identify soon. Probably. There's so many laws. Democrats are making more laws every day about that. Probably.
But I'm an innocent. I just don't know.
You just don't know. Are you just claiming not to know? Faking it.
I really don't know.
You're faking that you're not gay.
So on Facebook, every day there's a creepy guys, divorced guys. The guy with the kids hit on me. So since I post, I'm an LA Pride comedy finalist. They all back off.
Now you get girls hitting on you.
But I do not know. So people do ask me, is a girl hit on you? I say, I don't know. Even they hit on me, I do not know if this a kid hit on me or just a normal conversation. Because I never had a girl hit on me, so I do not know the difference.
You don't know if a girl's hitting on you?
How do I know?
Are they kissing you?
We do not. In China,
they're rubbing on your shoulders.
You see?
They're standing too close to you so that their breasts touch you. That's what they do to me. The girls, they stand too close to me and their breasts will touch my shoulder.
Oh my God. So in China, not just in China, in most of Asia, it's not a big deal. Girls go to hotel to get a room together. Just normal. So if a guy...
And they don't have sex.
No, it's nothing. Just girlfriends, nothing to do with...
That would be a good way for lesbians to hide, so no one would know they're lesbians.
And it's normal. Guy and a guy get the same room. Girl and a girl get the same room. If guy and a girl get the same room, either you're dating or you're married. Or you're sneaking out to have affair. So... That was, again, many years, about 20 years ago. Me and my classmates, she's from Japan and I'm from China. So we went to San Francisco, girls, have a fun. Of course, we get the same room together, same money. We're poor students, right? You don't get two separate rooms. So we get the same room together. So that day, the room don't have the separate beds. They don't have a 2-bedroom. They're booked. Only have a one big king bed.
Right.
They asking, are we okay? I said, we're okay. Because when they come to my house, she stay in my house, we have the same bed. And if we go to their house, we will. That's how girls does in Asia. You can do nothing to do with
anything. And you sleep on the floor there anyway.
Exactly. They keep asking. They ask us, is it okay, have the same king bed? I said, yeah. We said, yeah. They keep asking, are you sure? I said, yeah. We don't understand why they keep asking, are you sure? Now I think back, they look at us, not look like a gay lesbian together. Why you guys want a bed together?
Right. Well, you don't know what a gay person looks like. There's all kinds of gay people. I used to have a friend who was gay, and there were all these weird bars in San Francisco. And he took me around to all these weird bars, and I was just looking around. And there was a bar where everyone was dressed really macho and like military outfits and all these huge, tall, muscular guys. But they were all very effeminate. They come to me, hi. And then he was like a big, fat, hairy guy with a beard. Yeah. So he would go to a place called a bear bar. Where there's a bunch of big, fat, hairy guys with beards, and other guys that look different, or some who look like bears, looking for guys who like guys that are big, fat, and hairy. And I was thinking, wow, that's so unequal. Where can women who are big, fat, and hairy? There should be a bar for like women who are big, fat, and hairy, and then guys that like them or girls that like them to come there.
Okay, that's your next career.
That's my next career.
Yeah.
And so there are all these weird ones, and then there was this other bar where he said, I didn't go into this one, and he said in that bar, men are rough with you. They grab you and try to have sex with you. I'm like, so I'm not going in there. And then there was another bar said where if you show everyone at the bar your butthole, they give you a free drink.
Oh my God.
So what they do is they give everyone flashlights, and the guy stands up on his phone and shows everyone his butthole, and then you get a free drink.
Oh my God.
They said this was a bar there. And then a guy tried to kiss me, and that was the end of my gay tourism. Not going there, not gonna happen.
There's a limit, huh?
There's a limit. I'll go, okay, I'm open-minded enough to say, that is interesting, but I'm not attracted to men. I'm thinking it's interesting that there's a place where, and then all the guys that are dressed the most macho act the most effeminate.
Okay.
And then there's lots of guys that are gay that just act normal. And they hated that too. He used to live with his boyfriend, and every time we'd go over there, people would say, God, your friends are so homophobic. He'd say, no, they're gay. They just hate gay culture. They just hate like how you're supposed to act. If you're gay, you're supposed to act a certain way.
I see. They just want to be normal.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm just a guy who happens to be gay. Why do I have to act this way or have a lisp or whatever? And it really bothered them. And so they would you'd go over there and probably just be like, oh, fag came over again today. And you're like, oh, that guy was such a fag. And it would just go on and on like that. So everyone would think they were really homophobic, but they weren't. They just hated gay.
They just don't want that label.
Being gay and looking like you're gay and dressing gay. They just dislike that whole thing.
I don't.
Just wanted to act like just normal people.
I do believe. I remember one of our teachers says. He says, okay, people always say, we understand you. Okay, you are gay, you are lesbian. But they just, okay, you're lesbian, they put it in your box. Say, okay, I understand you, but I treat you differently. Put it in here. So I totally understand why those people saying. I guess.
It's like now with Candace Owens, you know who that is?
No.
She's a black so-called conservative. And people are attacking her because she's black and she supports some conservative ideas and Donald Trump, and points out that black unemployment is at the lowest it's ever been since in the history of the country, and other things like that. And people are attacking her. And I'm thinking, that would really make me mad. Because I'm white, so I can be a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian. I happen to be a libertarian, but no one's going to be surprised. But
if you're black, then
that would piss me off of people thinking, oh, you have to be this way, or you have to think that way, in order to be black. You're not. I used to go out with a black girl, and she said her family used to act like she was being a bad black person because she didn't like soul and reggae music and traditionally black music. She liked punk rock. And they would just act as, why are you listening to that? Or people would be shocked that she would listen to punk rock and she was black. But there are a lot of hugely influential and very famous black punk rock bands and bands that also have black
and I also think this country goes to so wrong direction, and too often people cannot have a different opinion. If we have a different opinion, we just become enemy.
Right.
We cannot even talk.
Identity politics.
Yeah, and I have one friend. Luckily, she's Chinese. She has a Chinese grandma. So when they get married, they're still young couple. The grandma says, just remember, when two of your guys fight, just remember, it's not against each other. It's against whatever the issue you are tagging. So if you do that, then you will be, okay, because your guys come together tagging the issue instead fighting with each other.
Tagging the issue?
Yeah, because when
you mean like hashtags online?
You don't have to tag.
Oh, attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So two of people, like couples, or doesn't matter, any two people fight is a fight for something, right?
Right.
You know,
They should attack the issue,
instead of
not the person.
Exactly. I was like, this grandma should be the president of the United States.
That's how. That's how the Democrats campaign, and the Republicans to a certain extent, but the Democrats started it. And what it is that basically no one should listen to your opinion because you're a bad person. So what they started to do with conservatives or Republicans, they started to say, well, you're a bad person. You're racist. You're a bigot. You're transphobic. You're anti-Semitic. You're blah, 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 blah. So they started to attack people personally so that no one would listen to their point of view.
Exactly. So that's really bad.
So what do people assume about you because you're from China?
Yeah, exactly. I do not know.
Do they assume anything politically about you? What do they think?
No, I don't think so. I always don't like a politician. I don't want involved, and I always tell people, I teach economics. I always tell people, don't depend on the government. Take care of yourself. The government, they help you, wonderful.
Right.
If not, you will be well taken care of. So you won't be angry when you don't have anything. So always build your own thing instead. So that's what we do. I don't know. Chinese people, we're practical. We look at what works today. Maybe not the best thing, that's why we don't go to the mall.
Asian people, I think, have adjusted very well to capitalism.
Yeah,
because they're on top. In America, Asian people are the group of people that have the highest income.
That's true.
Of everyone. People keep talking about white privilege and institutional racism. I'm wondering how Asian people got a hold of the institutions in order to put themselves on top secretly without anyone knowing. Because there's very few Asian politicians.
The reason is
how did you do it? Tell me.
We value education. So education is the most important thing for every family in China. We have a 3 generations just want to educate the kids. You think we put all the resource, all the money, all the manpower, just want to get that kids the best education ever.
Right.
So one reason so many people come to United States from China is because they believe U.S. have the good education system, especially in high education, maybe not the low education, but they come to United States as low as start with middle school now. When 20 years ago, we come for graduate school. In U.S. because we know U.S. graduate school is really good. We have a good, best resource, teachers and the freedom. But now they come lower age. They come and start with the middle school.
I think they're starting to play music up there.
Yeah, I think
we're going to have to pause this podcast.
Let's pause.
And we're going to have to go somewhere else so we don't have copyrighted video on
Let's see. Let's see how many minutes we have. We may have enough. No? Okay.
There's the Joe Rogan podcast. Have you ever seen the Joe Rogan podcast?
Not yet. I don't
that goes on for we've only been at this 13 minutes, so we're going to pause. All right, we're back.
Okay.
So how do we spell your name so people know how to find you online?
Sure. Heidi. Last name is Luo. Heidi Luo. Just look me on Facebook or anywhere.
Is there .com?
No, I haven't have my website set up yet.
I got mine. I haven't done anything with it. I just linked it to one of my YouTube channels. I need to make it into a regular website. If anyone out there would like to volunteer to make me a regular website, let me know.
What do you use, or what host do you use?
I forget entirely, but I have it hooked up to my credit card. But they send me emails, so hopefully I still have markselzer.com. I'm gonna have to go to markselzer.com and see what happens. Wait, let me go back to Facebook Live and see if I have that. See if I can do that. Let's see. So we're recording there on that, and then go back to Facebook, and then this is going to be boring for people maybe, huh? Post your reply, comedy, share. Let's go back to, I'm going to have to go back to, I didn't unpause it. Let's see, go live. This is going to be boring for people to listen to this podcast while we're doing this.
Are you live or are you just recording?
Now I'm live and recording.
Oh, both.
Both.
All right. So
Now we're doing both.
let's put some picture on it.
Yeah. We could have the people walking by, or we could have like the buildings and the trees. The little asparagus. It looks like asparagus.
Yeah.
I just saw this thing about asparagus.
Yeah, what's it
Asparagus
about?
is only harvested 2 or 3 times. Every 2 or 3 years they harvest asparagus.
Really?
It's just like a giant root thing that grows underground, and these little things, the asparagus that you eat, pop up like every 2 or 3 years, and then they're able to take them off of there.
But how do we get in the market year round?
I don't know.
I know it's expensive.
Because I guess they have different plants that grow at different times. You know, so this good. So she's giving me a breath mint. The breath mint. I try to have breath mints in my pocket when I'm at a comedy show, because there's always one comedian that has really bad breath. Like every show has the bad breath comedian.
Really?
And so I'm always worried that I'm going to be the bad breath comedian. So I always try to have some breath mints.
I always carry with me, then I pass around.
Yeah? That's good. Well, hopefully you'll get the bad breath comedian. But the bad breath comedian is probably the one that doesn't think they need it, because they know their breath is perfect.
No. They will say no.
Perfect. I used to date this girl that was a narcissist, and before I knew she was a narcissist and what a narcissist is, I used to talk to her about how she thought she was perfect. Because narcissists think that they're perfect.
Yeah.
And because they can't look inside, they can't look inward towards themselves. So she never see a flaw in herself. And before I knew that she had a dire and severe mental illness, I would talk with her for hours, trying to get her to admit that she'd ever done anything wrong ever in her life, that there was anything wrong with her, that she'd ever treated somebody badly or wrongly. And she would just refuse. Nope, I'm perfect. I think I'm perfect. I said, you think you're perfect. And, that was weird for her, because thinking you're perfect, she also would understand that would be a flaw too. So she would deny thinking she's perfect, but still argue that she's perfect. So it was very, very weird. And then eventually I found out that she was a narcissist. But I've talked to narcissists. But I've talked about narcissists a lot on my podcasts already. But you can go, if anyone's curious about that, you can go online, go to YouTube channels, and there are many psychiatrists and counselors and psychologists talking about how to understand and what to do if you're in a relationship or a narcissist. Generally, it's to go what's called no contact, because there's nothing you can do to help them. They're incurable.
So just leave them alone.
You walk away.
Okay, good. That's a good lesson to learn. Yeah. Instead of convince somebody,
because you're never going to fix them. A team of all the psychiatrists and psychologists in the world haven't figured out how to fix the narcissist.
Wow.
So
don't worry, then the pill comes out.
A pill will come out. Well, so far there's no medication. It's sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists.
Yeah.
And evidently I'm candy for narcissists. They love me, and I've been attacked. I was attacked by 4 narcissists in a row.
Just you have some quality.
I have some quality they like.
I don't know what it is.
I'm a mushy, emotional person. It doesn't appear that way in my comedy, but I actually am. So I'm like candy to them. They like that.
Did you say you have a show regularly somewhere?
I used to have an educational TV show called The Libertarian Alternative.
Yeah, maybe that they think.
Because of that,
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
But it's gone now, but it's still out there on the internet. And I don't do it anymore, and I do not understand how I was able to take so much of my time and energy and put it into that show. I have no idea.
I can see you like an educational guy.
Yeah.
You look like a comedian. Did you do a comedy?
No, I've always wanted to my whole life, but my parents convinced me that I wasn't worth a shit. I couldn't do anything. So it took me a long time to get over that.
Sounds like a comedian.
Until I finally got bored enough to about 5 years ago, went up on stage and just was bored too. That was another thing. I finally quit being a political activist. And I was just bored out of my mind. Here, take these away because I think these are candy and I want them. So, yeah, I was just bored out of my mind and decided to do it. But I just didn't want to be part of the entertainment industry because I really hated meeting people that were wannabes my whole life. I met wannabe writers and wannabe actors and wannabe comedians and wannabe musicians, wannabe singers, wannabe stars, so wannabe this, wannabe that. You don't want to see them struggle. And I just hated that whole wannabe thing, and I didn't want to be a wannabe. So
what do you do now?
So I decided to just approach it as art because I've been an artist my whole life and I've done art. So I approach it as art. It's a performance art project for me. I'm actually a performance artist, and I'm taking on the accoutrements and the stage craft of comedy and comedians and other stage performers.
So it is part of the entertainment industry, just in different approach.
Right. It's more of a performance art piece. And I'm also working harder to document more of what I do and get it up online.
Yeah.
But last night, like, I had my phone propped up to film myself doing my set, and somebody knocked it over. So it ruined it.
What do you mean knock it over?
Knocked the phone over. It ruined it. They were sitting down and they knocked over my phone. But so for now on, I'm going to get one of those little tripods. But it's hard to remember to bring. Oh, usually I just prop it up against a candle or a glass.
Yeah, I forgot. I have 2 sets. I should have brought today. I thought I have in my pocket, but I don't.
I'm just going to keep trying. We have a purse. It's so much easier just to throw something in your purse. But guys, we're not allowed to have purses. Otherwise, people will make gay jokes about us. You can have a satchel, but then people will say, nice purse.
So I don't care people make
say, oh no, it's a satchel.
I tell you, I don't care people say I'm gay or whatever. I'm so proud. Remember, I was the finalist.
You were the finalist in the Gay Pride Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
So get those people.
Yeah, I'm so happy if they say I'm the whatever.
You know, a while ago, someone put me in a Jewish comedy show. Oh. And I don't even know if I'm Jewish. Maybe part of me is Jewish for sure. Yeah. If I am, I'm only like 2 or 3 or 4% Jewish. But
I do think you're
I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them that I wasn't Jewish. And my last name's a name that's either can be German or Jewish.
Yeah.
So my last name is very German, Selzer. Salazar, Mr. Selzer. In German, it's Selzer. In America, the Americanized pronunciation is Selzer.
Do you want to try this?
What is this?
This is, the cough drop, but it's a Chinese cough drop. Okay. So let them see.
There's nothing in there. It's empty.
It is. If not, it's here. Did you see if there? If not, that will be the one.
I'm going to rip open the other end of this very nice looking package. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. So that's your half.
Thank you.
So that's the cough drop we grew up with. Okay, if you're Chinese, you will know.
Wrapping. Look at all the wrapping on this cough.
Yeah.
Cough drop.
It's just like a kind of cough drop, but I like the taste.
Two.
I have two. Yeah. You're not supposed to chew. You're supposed to just suck on.
It flew my mouth. Chewing. Can't help it.
So I have 2 pens. You want one? You can have 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's a gift for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Used.
I could give people gifts when they come on my podcast. I don't even know what I could give them. I'd give them a punk rock record. That's what I do for a living. I sell punk rock records. Old punk rock records from the 70s.
I do not know what that is. Oh, do you know? No, you know the Edison those records? Edison. Do you know those things? Big turntable. Okay, my brother collect them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever see those
Tell you.
record,
Well, is it records
the record, he not collect
and the player?
he collect the player, but
Okay.
but if there are records, you ever find a Chinese one ever ever?
So these are 78.
I do not know. He has multi of them. He has lots of them, so I don't know what it is.
Right, it's probably 78. 70.
Okay.
He's looking for 78. Are these, do you crank these?
Yeah, yeah,
And then it has a big
yeah.
speaker on it?
Speaker on it. Beautiful,
Right.
yeah, beautiful.
But how many does he have?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot of them?
Yeah.
Where is he? Is he in the U.S. or in
He's
China?
in China, yeah.
In China? How does he find them over there?
He found in U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There are probably lots of them in China
Yeah.
too. Lots of Chinese records. The Chinese would make fake copies of American records. Like they would take popular bands.
Really?
Yeah, like, the Rolling Stones or whatever. And they would just print up copies of their records that are like bootleg and sell them throughout Japan and not give the Rolling Stones any money without the permission of the Rolling Stones. And that's what they would do. They do it with records. They do it with books.
Yeah.
They do it with, because you translate like works like
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe and Edgar
Yeah.
Rice Burroughs, some of which are copyrighted, some of which are not,
Yeah.
into Chinese and then print them up in Chinese.
Now, let me tell you about the copyright. You can have those too. Let me tell you about the copyrights of Chinese thing.
Okay.
I'm not defense them. I'm not saying Chinese is doing those copy thing is wrong. Is right. Right. I know it's wrong. I'm telling you the history. So that's the thing you do when you understand each other's culture. Then you know why they're doing that. It's crazy. It's wrong, but why? So China is a communist party.
Right.
Right. So communist party, which means you don't own anything.
Right.
Everything is owned by the party or owned by everybody.
Right.
So our house was a private house, but when Communist Party they take over our house, now become public house. You understand? So so everything is owned by government.
Right.
So that's no private rights mean. So when we get a movie, we will copy for everybody to see, means we're doing a good thing. Do you know we're sharing? Because everything is mine is yours is mine.
But and to a certain extent, it worked in Russia.
Yeah.
This kind of thinking worked against them.
Yeah.
It worked against the philosophy of communism, because what they did was they did translate works by Edgar Rice Burroughs and sell millions of them, and shows like Friends and American TV shows, and those shows all had the idea that what is important is the individual and what you earn and what you keep and what the individual can accomplish. Even Elvis has this idea, the idea of Elvis, that he's a special, unique person. He's not part of a group. He's not working on behalf of the collective. He is a person who has a special talent that's unique. And this is an American idea that pushes American ideas of capitalism, of individualism, and independence.
But
so that works very much against the people of China to have, or against the communist China ideas to have Elvis or anything like that.
No, I'm just telling you why we're doing that.
That's very good.
Why
that's
we're,
a very good idea.
Why we're doing that is because so here we know you stolen copyrights is a criminal, right?
Right.
But you shame of it. You do under the table, right?
Right.
In China, we're like a hero. Great.
Right.
You're sharing the knowledge. You share the entertainment, right? So that's why I say people understand. So those kind of concept, mindset, you change it. It's not come a day. Not just to say, okay, we open the country now. Everybody knows, we have a private property now. We have our own car now. But the mindset change many years come, or even generation come, to understand what the copyright is so important.
Right.
So also that's good. American is forcing this and give Chinese government motivation to educate people. I think the important thing is educate people. Understand what is wrong, what is right.
Also, do the people, if they come to America, the Chinese people, they bring their children to America and they get raised in America because they have a good education system?
Yeah.
Do they become lazy Americans, a lot of them?
Yeah, oh yeah. They learn everything bad from US and get rid of anything good from not all
Sometimes.
not all the
Sometimes.
not all of them. Yeah, some is. But so I'm thinking life is circle, not just thinking about it. Okay, so the Communist Party, the thing, then now, did you see all those high education stuff have called open source, which means everybody can use
Right.
those. So it become cycle, which means this is human beings' knowledge. We should all
In a
benefit.
sense,
Yeah,
rock and roll is open source.
yeah,
It was invented by who knows who.
yeah.
Some people say that Little Richard invented it.
Yeah.
Little Richard says he invented rock and roll.
Okay.
He says, I played rock and roll all through the 50s,
Yeah.
all across America. No one else was playing it but me.
Yeah.
I mean, in the early 50s. And maybe it's true. It's kind of hard to argue with him.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different people that were the authors of rock and roll.
Yeah.
But you can mainly say it's a black form of music. Comes from blues and also from country and folk. And a lot of those were the early folk and country musicians
Yeah.
were black as well, Leadbelly and people like that.
Yeah.
But rock and roll is open source. Everyone can play rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
People in China play rock and roll. Everyone can have their own different version of rock
That's
and
true.
roll.
That's true. That's
You know?
yeah.
So it's open source. So open source things on a certain level
Yeah.
are American. You can have open source things.
Yeah.
In
like
some
the coding
cases.
they give you, so you can code the same program.
Unix is an open source. I used to have a Unix computer. I still have it in my house. And
Is that antique now?
huh?
Is that like an antique now?
Yeah, I don't know. They put part of my records into storage because in these giant storage containers. I don't know if it's going to get hot inside there. If it's going to ruin my records or not, we'll see. The ones that are in there,
Yeah.
maybe. We'll see. I'm going to have to ask them maybe if I can get those out of there. But there were just so many records. They're moving me into this apartment. I'm gonna. They want to redo my apartment, so they forced me out into a smaller apartment. So there's lots of people that are suing. I'm probably going to sue them over it too. And if any of my stuff gets wrecked, I'm going to sue them over that. Although they make you sign a paper saying you won't hold them responsible.
Yeah. I
So-
know. That's America. Everywhere you go, dentist, they ask you sign tons of paperwork. Basically, you die there.
Because everyone sues.
Yeah.
People do die. People do. They give the wrong.
Yeah.
The number 2 or 3 cause of death in the U.S. after heart failure is doctor error. I have a doctor, a friend who's a doctor, who
Yeah.
told me that the most dangerous place you can be in America is inside a doctor's office.
Office. Wow.
He says unless you are direly ill,
Don't go.
stay out of the doctor's office.
Okay.
Unless you're falling down dead,
Okay.
stay out of there.
That's
because
good,
they
good.
could diagnose you with something,
Wow.
and you could end up on the wrong kind of medication, and you
Ooh.
would just die.
Okay, that's
Very
good.
scary.
This
So
is good
stay-
advice.
and there's very little publicity about that, and a lot of people are saying, oh, you have to have medical care and you have to go to a doctor once a year. Well, if you do that, then even more people are going to die because the number 1 cause of the
Because
number 2 or
sometimes
3
they
cause
say-
of death is doctor error.
Just a simple thing. Doctor didn't wash their hands properly.
Right.
Because they transferred one disease to the
Right.
another. So that's just
Yeah.
simple. That is documented.
Simple.
Actually.
And then dentists too. You can get an infection
Yeah.
at the dentist's office
Yeah.
and die.
Yeah.
I had a tooth torn out that didn't need to be torn out,
Yeah.
and I had a
You should just do yourself. Go to Home Depot, buy those things.
Buy at Home Depot.
Yeah.
You tie a string to it. You tie it to a door, and you slam the door.
Yeah,
Yanks it out.
you should do that.
Nah.
We did
Not
when
me.
we did when we were in China. Okay, we did all those things.
I had a tooth pulled out by myself. I went to the doctor and the dentist, and she pulled out, but I bit her
Yeah.
because I wasn't Novocained enough, and I was still feeling it, so I bit her. And so I bit the dentist.
He didn't sue you?
No. He says the same time today I got bit. Says you put enough Novocaine in there. It hurts.
He should sue you.
I have a very high tolerance for pain. I don't mind pain at all. But that is just a mess.
I have a very low tolerance for pain.
Pain?
I always say if.
Well, it's good you think you didn't have any children then.
Yeah, that's right.
They say women have a higher tolerance for pain because they have children. And having children is very painful.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Yes, that's
So
why you
maybe that's why you didn't have kids because you're afraid of the pain.
I already know. I'm scared to death if there's I don't know what happen. Yeah, it's so scary.
I've missed out on a lot of good sex just because I'm afraid of getting someone pregnant. I don't want to have kids. That's the end of my life. I'll never do. You never do comedy again. I don't understand people that have kids that try to do comedy.
Why?
It just seems impossible.
Why?
Because it's the amount of time.
Yeah, the time.
You know, and people say, okay, I'm
Yeah.
having a kid, but I'm still going to do comedy.
Yeah,
you never see them again.
Yeah, it's a different.
They say that's what they're going to do, and they try to do it for a while.
Yeah.
But having a kid is so much work. There's no
is,
way you can have a job
Yeah.
and a kid
Yeah.
and do comedy
Yeah.
unless you're getting paid like a bunch of money.
But then you
Gaffigan
Yeah.
had like 3 or 4 kids, but he was already working as a comedian,
Yeah.
making money.
Yeah.
And they were raising their kids in a small apartment. And now he's wealthy, of course. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Probably makes, I don't know how many millions a year. But,
it's tough when you just up there. You know, you want to go.
right, so many people are able to make money.
Yeah,
you know.
I do know a comedian. She has 2 kids. It's tough. Every time if we want to go, you know, this show, that show, she got the balance.
Right.
Which show she can go, which show she can't go. Like, you
And
know.
then I got rid of my car and I just take Uber everywhere because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So now I'm still getting booked everywhere
Yeah.
outside of LA, and I have to find another comedian to drive me.
Yeah. Otherwise, you cost too much to do a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there lots of performance around the LA? I know
There
you
used to be, and then
like
they all
here.
kind of died. You know, there
In
used
this
to
area?
be. Yeah. And then there's some of them, and then I'm also so tired of open mics. I won't even
Yeah.
go anymore. I run this site called on Facebook. It's very popular, Open Mic Comedy Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But I'm so tired of open mics. I can't even. So I just ask to get booked on shows.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
yeah. I don't go open mic.
I just can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
Last time I went, I was just like, oh, this is such hell. I've been doing this for so long. And I'm a good enough comic where you can just go ask to be on a show. Tonight, there's a show. I'm going to go ask to be on it. And just go and ask to be on shows, you know, rather than do mics.
Yeah.
Because I'm just tired. I'm so tired of open mics. I just cannot stand it. Sometimes it's fun. Then there's also crazy people that bother me at open mics. Or like crazy people.
Yeah.
I don't know why the crazy people all come and bother me when I'm at open mics.
I remember you attract to certain.
I attract
quality.
crazy people. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Certain
I
quality.
attract insane people.
Yeah.
So it's like, and a lot of times I don't want to be around them, and they get insulted that I don't want to be around them. Everyone else just treats them nicely, and I just ignore them.
Yeah. Maybe
And
that's
they're
why.
still, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Usually I have way too much tolerance for crazy people.
Yeah.
Depends on the crazy person. But you know, lately I've just been like, okay, this is a mentally ill drug addict. I don't want to be around them.
Exactly. You
And
should-
maybe, you know, they get mad because I don't want to be around their mentally ill drug addict
Do you
self.
want to come over? Hello. You want to look at camera? That's a little
He does
cute.
it.
He's so cute.
So, you know, you should have children. Sometimes I do that.
No.
I see kids and I think, oh no, I want to have kids.
I tell you, I have 2 neighbors. They are so cute. What I do is I just borrow them for a couple hours,
Right.
play with them, then when they
Give them
cry,
back.
send them home.
Give them back.
See,
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
it's
You
too
know?
much for me. I can't handle kids. If I had kids, I have my own kids. You know, it's just so. It would be so time consuming. I don't understand how it could
Yeah,
ever.
I respect parents. They're
money I would have to
so much work.
I'd have to do my job full time. I mean, I can really skimp around on my job
Yeah,
when I don't have kids.
that's right.
You know,
You can just easily
I can just kind of
here, there,
live very cheaply, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know, then the cost of doing shows too could be the same. Like to get out to an open mic, like last night, I went to a comedy show and was on it, and it was it cost me to get there about $7, and it cost me to get home like $10. And then when I was there was a Carney's across the street. I didn't know there was a Carney's in the valley, so I went over to the Carney's and ate a hamburger. Just couldn't have done, but I did anyway.
So it cost you tons of money for the night.
So yeah, it was a lot of money that night, like $35. But if you're gonna go out, if I wasn't doing comedy, I'd be going out to a movie or a club or a restaurant or whatever. You'd be spending the same amount of money anyway.
Okay. So that's
so whatever.
Yeah. So but yeah, it is.
You're gonna spend money, but itccasionally you get some money for doing comedy. It depends, and then. But it'd be certainly nicer to get paid more.
Yeah, if you can.
Certainly nicer.
Lots of comedians, they're doing their own show now because you can easily do online.
I do my own show too. I'll have you out there. It's Bordner's.
What's Bordner's?
Wednesday. Bordner's is on Cherokee. It's a historic bar in Hollywood, and they have this amazing back patio that has a roof and has a wonderful stage where alternative rock bands play.
Okay.
And so I use it for comedy once a week.
Okay.
It's called Backroom Comedy.
Oh, Backroom Comedy. I heard about it.
Because I want people to know when they walk into the bar, where's the comedy show?
Yeah.
Oh, Backroom Comedy.
That's
to
right.
come to the back. And I also want to encourage comedians to be a little more out there than they normally are.
Yeah.
So I want it to be in the back room.
Okay.
Back room comedy. So different reasons for it. So that's why I called it that. Mainly just to go so people would know. Go to the back room. It's a neat old bar where the Black Dahlia used to hang out.
Yeah.
The Black Dahlia used to live in the building next door to me. And then one night she left, was evicted from her apartment, put her things at the
storage room
in the train station in storage, and then was mysteriously cut in half and dumped in an open field.
Oh my God!
In West Hollywood, not in West. Yeah, I think it was in West Hollywood somewhere. What is now West Hollywood? And it was in 1947, and the cover of LA Times, they edited the photographs so that she wouldn't be in two places.
Yeah.
So that she wasn't cut in half because they said that was too gruesome to tell the public.
Yeah. Exactly.
So they edited the photograph to show her with her feet sticking out of one end and one corpse. And it's the most famous unsolved murder. And my apartment looks down into her apartment.
Wow.
Look out the window of my original apartment. And then she used to walk down Cherokee, which is the street I live on, to Bordner's and have a drink every day.
Yeah. Oh my
down there.
God.
So I don't know whether she met the person that cut her in half there or not. No one knows.
Scary.
No one has the foggiest idea. So anyway, that's one of my shows.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which I'm mixing in with the murder history of Hollywood.
Oh my God. All right, we gotta leave. Otherwise, it's getting scary. Bye.
Bye, everyone.